Uh-oh. There's the hat. There he is with the flight in.
What's up, boys?
What up?
What's up?
Hat
Back.
and glasses. Gang.
We're back, boys.
We are, man. We're back.
Glad the other guys couldn't join us. They were supposed to. Nice job, guys.
Sorry, hold on. Let me get this bad boy.
Oh, that looks pretty heavy, man. You need a hand?
Sorry, it's really heavy, man.
Okay.
Mommy Chasers, let's go.
Dang, dude. I figured you would have pawned it already.
Zach effing Wilson, let's go.
Wow, Zach fucking Wilson, Robert. I can't believe it. Here, grab a go.
Man, what a story. Nice win last year, Bob.
Thank you. I mean, I went on like what was that, like a 12, 15?
I mean, I don't remember. It was
I don't
crazy.
even know. I won so many times, I don't even know what this
I think you were 0-3 or 0-4 or something like that.
I think it was more than that, man. Right? I mean,
I thought it might be in the teens too. Maybe. I don't know.
No. I mean, you started off like with no wins.
Oh, yeah. Like,
Like, it was,
I would-
what was it, like 3,
I was-
4?
I want to say he was like 0-6 or like
Mm.
0-5 or something, because I think me and him ran into each other and we both had no wins, right?
I think so, yeah. What Devin would say, I was.
Something like that, like I think I can't quite remember, but
Neither. Either way, it was
I
an
know-
incredible run.
I know that the game where Robert won, that was the game where I was playing him and I was having a really good week, and Brees Hall had just taken one for like 70 yards, I think 60 or 70 yards, and then he tore his ACL, and that was the beginning of my downfall.
Yep.
So I know that's when it happened, and then Rob was up from there. Right after Robert said, "I am pooped," I think Brees Hall tore his ACL, and Robert's season never looked back.
Yeah, man. I just remember talking about it too, and we were going through all of the what's that called? Our power rankings, and we kept talking about it, and we had some other league mates saying some bad things about us, but we called it, man, early. Within like 1 or 2 wins, we said he's making all the right moves. This team is just too good to keep losing.
They're all hitting. Everything was hitting. It
Yep.
was the perfect storm.
Yeah, looks like I was because Drake and I actually finished 10-5.
So you were 0-5, I think.
Yeah, I would say so. I was 0-5, and then went on a 10. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's Drake. I forgot that's who I played in the championship was Drake too.
You went on a 12-game win streak technically, because you had to win 2 playoffs.
Playoffs, yeah.
So you won 12 games straight. That's true.
Hey, I'm gonna keep riding that bus.
Yeah.
Do it, man.
Might as well. Show off that belt one more time when we got this showing. Bob,
What'd you say?
show off that belt one more time when we got this up.
Yeah, check her out.
Yep.
Boom.
Bobby Martin, let's go. Mommy Chasers.
Mommy Chasers, man.
Are you guys changing your name this year?
Oh, always.
Yeah, I won't
Depends
have
who's on
Russell.
my team.
Hopefully I won't have Russell Wilson on my team.
Yeah.
So yeah. Yeah, ideally.
A new joiner here.
Yeah, I know how to put on some more fucking noodles because I made enough for everybody but myself.
Yep. Gotta hate that.
Real slick.
It's the dad move right there.
Yeah.
At least he's nice enough. He lets everyone else eat.
Classic dad move. But you jumped in here, man. We were just chatting about Mommy Chasers over there grabbing that belt. How do you feel about that? You had to give it to him.
Clearly a fluke.
Yeah.
He backpedaled.
It looks. I did.
He had.
He did end up last place.
He had to make a lot of big decisions late in the game last season, and he bought in Justin Fields when nobody else did.
Oh, that is right.
True,
I
he
forgot
did,
about that.
and Zach Wilson.
Yeah. I'm going to look on that, but whatever.
You guys want to go over the last champion? Like how many? Like the people that won?
Yeah, we can
Yeah,
do that.
It was you, JR, me, Damon, Blake, right?
Yeah,
Blake.
yeah, that's how I remember it being.
Balake.
Yep. So it was me, and then JR was last year, and then Sean the year before. Sean again. Damon.
Man, keep saying it. Come on.
Robert, I'm sorry, you were cutting out there for a second.
So I have a bad connection.
Good shit. Yeah, so I mean that there's a good chance to double up. It's happened a lot in the league. The majority of the winners have won back-to-backs. So
Most Super Bowl champions don't elect to pick 8 in the draft like a dipshit, though.
I did it last year, so I can't. I'm on a winning streak. I can't change.
Touche.
That's
Dude,
what I would have
you're-
picked if I had the first pick, though. If I
You're
got to pick my
crazy.
position, I would
You're
have picked 8.
crazy.
So you guys are like the middle people. Then you like 4 and 5. Like what would be your guys' like?
In a snake draft, I like to just stay steady.
be in the middle.
Yeah.
JR. I don't really care, to be honest. In an 8-man league, I don't ever put too much on it.
That's true, I guess.
Yeah,
But
because more in the 3rd, 4th, 5th round. That's where like I feel like that you should benefit.
There's so many pros and cons like to picking like back-to-back too in an 8-man league. You know what I mean? Like in that 3rd, 4th, 5th round when it's like, oh, cool, I can take these 2 wide receivers right now. Like, good. Like,
Right.
It's also, to me, it's easier to plan because it's like if you like 3 guys, you're like, well, I'm going to get 2 of them.
yeah, you're getting 2 of them.
Yeah.
Pretty much. But I don't really, I don't really have like a preference on it. I didn't really care. I wouldn't want to. I mean, I obviously want to win a bracket challenge. Don't get me wrong, but I wouldn't want to pick first on where my spot is. Just be like, I know I'm picking wrong. Whatever the fuck I do, I'm wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to know.
Yep. Cool.
So let's talk about some off-season moves. We talked a little bit, Bob. You and I did just before we jumped on the let's talk about Zeke Elliott.
That's a big move. I think that's huge because I think that Stevenson is a probably top 10 running back, right? Or probably top 15. What do you guys think?
Easily, I've got him in the top 10. Yeah,
And so that's going to drop him down to probably the low 20s, 30s, I think, just because Zeke is going to get a lot of touches down low, like you guys were talking about earlier. I mean, I think that's huge. I think the yardage is there for Stevenson, but he's going to have to have a lot of touchdowns over 20 yards. I mean,
yeah, he's gonna have to get in.
yeah.
From deep.
Good. I was going to ask you about that.
It's good that he can catch out of the backfield.
That's true too.
Helps him, but yeah, I think, and this is something we talked about too. Let's say Zeke scores 10 touchdowns again. I think he scored more than that last year with the Cowboys.
That's
Tony
70,
Pollard kind of-
that's 70 points right there.
yeah, 60 points that you take away from Stevenson. There could be a difference between a mediocre season and a good season. I think they're in New England. The other thing, we're still waiting on Kareem Hunt. He was one that I was looking to possibly go
Oh yeah, I
and be.
totally forgot about that because he went to the Colts, right, and then
He
went to.
got another visit with the Colts, or had one at least.
Does he? Okay, so I was waiting. I was going to ask if any of you guys had news on him because I heard the teams he was flirting with. It was the Saints, the Colts, and the Vikings. And Sean and I were talking the other day. I think of Vikings him too because all these Madison.
That's more appetizing than the Colts.
What?
Yeah.
And that's going to lower his stock
Because
because
you got to live in Minnesota. Freezing
Yeah.
cold.
Do that in wintertime.
that's going to take that him out of being a top 15 running back too and dropping him down. So Kareem Hunt really goes to the Vikings, and then you got to look at that too. So like
Yeah,
that's a big thing.
Yep. I could see Kareem Hunt not getting signed until week 4, until somebody's gotten hurt, or you know what I mean.
The Colts need another back, even if Jonathan Taylor is. You know what I mean?
I saw he came back to practice on Monday, and then he was gone today.
Yeah, but I just read on the ESPN not too long ago it was excused.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, whatever then. Other offseason moves. We won't really talk about the defense because that's not that interesting. Nobody cares about defense. But Aaron Rodgers to the Jets.
You're right.
What does
That's
that
a
do
big
for
one,
you?
man.
Jets.
What? Do you want to go with Taylor you want to keep with the running backs and talk about Taylor? Because that's a big one too. Like, do you guys think Taylor's going to stay?
I don't. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't
You think
consider.
he's going to be a top first round pick? Like, I think that's going to this whole thing that's what Taylor's going through. I don't know if he's actually going to play or if he's like sit out. Like, I think that's going to be a crucial part about Taylor because he's, like I said, he's a first round pick, right? Like,
I think we could. So we'll get into that on the running backs because I bet that's going to come up. Somebody's going to bring up Jonathan Taylor in a minute, but he ain't moved yet. So until he moves, we won't call him a move. But I bet we're going to definitely get into that. I've even got a little note on him. But
I just didn't know.
A-Rod though to the Jets and to fit into the running back thing like you were talking about. Dalvin Cook just signed with the Jets too. So not only does Aaron Rodgers go to the Jets and give them some value at the wide receiver position, and also open up the run game. Now they got Dalvin Cook, Breece Hall, and Michael Carter. Where I take
Dalvin Cook went there.
I didn't know either.
I take the stock of Michael Carter and Breece Hall down now
Mm-hmm.
with Dalvin Cook coming in. They paid him $8.5 million a year, I think it was, or 8.1, something like that. So
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
bringing a guy and paying $8 million a year and
He's
handing
playing.
the ball 3 times a game. Yeah, he's gonna play. He's gonna play. He can catch the ball out of the backfield. He's gonna get a lot.
Right, and like
And it's a 1-year deal. Like they believe in Brees Hall long term. Let him rest a little. Don't wear his legs down. Like keep him healthy.
I like how they're doing that. I feel like that's what they're doing. That's a great point, Sean, because I really think.
So I would even almost I would
Is Carter going to play then?
say it again.
Is Carter even going to play then? Is he going to be a third back running back? Like,
He's so good out of the backfield. I think he will.
It's like Antonio Gibson. Doesn't matter if he's second or third string. He's still gonna play.
Yeah.
No, it
So
isn't.
Dalvin Cook, I would venture to say that I would take basically wherever you have Breece Hall, you take Dalvin Cook, put him in that somewhere missing points wise, and Breece Hall probably you take a step down a little bit because he's just not going to get as much work as Dalvin Cook will.
I know this is a jerk. This is like a bad thing to say, but one of the two, and I hope one of them gets hurt. Like, just one,
That is a
hope
jerk thing
the
to
other
say.
one gets hurt, and then that person's going to be the starter and get a lot of fantasy points. I mean,
Just hoping you got one of them. You got the one
Yeah, if you got the right one, yeah, for sure. But it also like as good as Garrett Wilson was last year. Like Aaron Rodgers, even at 99 years old, is better than Zach Wilson.
Mm,
So I think Garrett Wilson's gonna have like a huge step up.
yeah, I think Garrett.
he's
I-
a potential
I like
top
Garrett-
10 guy.
I like Garrett Wilson a lot this year because of the Aaron Rodgers thing. Imagine Aaron Rodgers and Devontae Adams.
you have Aaron Rodgers likes a good wide receiver, and if he gets it, if Aaron has trust in him, he'll throw it to him like he does everyone else he does. Like that's going to be huge if he can be successful in the preseason start, because that means he'll get.
Real close to pasta al dente over here.
Because I mean, Aaron likes to focus on one.
Wow.
I feel like.
Yeah, I think it'll help a ton with Wilson and Conklin, even the tight end. He's probably got some value now.
Right. And
Yeah.
probably
Is he
know-
gonna be who is that one dude? Jermichael Finley?
Oh, I mean, Jermichael Finley was sick, right?
He was, dude. He was so good. But he was only good because of Aaron Rodgers.
Right. Yeah. And then he forgot. That was bad.
My buddies.
Another one that I had written down, just try to move it along. I had Brandon Cooks going to the Cowboys. I think that's a big offseason move. I think it's going to open up the field for them a ton. So I told Sean the other day, I think that they're going to be throwing the ball a ton more this year. Not necessarily that Cooks will be like a top wide receiver, but I think it'll change the game a little bit.
Is Dak that? You think Dak is that good?
He's good enough to have 2 wide receivers that each have 1,000 yards.
Yeah. And so
Because there's gonna be a lot of deep balls, right? And that's
He's good enough.
when you're putting Brandon Cook up there and CJ Lamb, like you're trying to throw deep now. Like you're trying to play in that third quarter area, not in the you're doing like 30 yards. That's what you're trying to get past. I feel like Matt.
Going for those big hit.
Yeah, I
plays.
don't know if Dax has the arm for it. Though.
Yeah, I
think
think he does. But
I think they'll throw the ball 40 times a game.
yeah.
I really do.
And I mean, we talked about him already, but Zeke not being there anymore. Tony Pollard's not a big dude. He
No.
can't get the rock as many times as Zeke did, so they're going to have to throw the ball.
Yeah, that is a very great point. Zeke did take the most, and that's might be why Tony Pollard is the person he is, because Zeke took the hits for him. Like I definitely could see that.
Mhm.
I could see Pollard kind of not doing as good this year then, because he's gonna get tired. And
I think Tony Pollard is that dude. I think he's good.
you think he's like a Daryl
Yes.
I think he's good.
Man, Darren Sproles, throwback.
There we go.
Only other 2 that I got listed down here, and you guys feel welcome to mention anything, but Jimmy Garoppolo going to the Raiders, and then DeAndre Swift going to the Eagles. You guys see any sort of changes as far as that will go for? Is Swift going to be able to get good work, or is he done? Like, you know what I mean? Is Swift going to be a lesser Miles Sanders? They still have Boston Scott. They still have Kenneth Gainwell.
And
And they're going to use
Sanders.
both of those guys. That's the thing. They're going to run more than anybody, so he'll get some touches. But I think last year Miles Sanders was a good comp. And Miles Sanders moving on, too, is, I think, great for him.
Yep,
But
me too.
I don't know, man. They play that lot of that read option, right? So it's going to give him a lot more area to run. So
Yeah.
he's going to be able to
mhm.
read more. See, if I was a running back, I'd rather play that kind of like under center and I'd rather see the field.
I definitely know that he doesn't. DeAndre Swift, like going into like this time last year, where he was like a top 5, top 10 guy considered almost, that he's not even close to that.
Yeah, but I think he could be your secret weapon though, like a secret pick that like
Pick him up late or something.
Yeah, because I mean he's only been in the league 3 years right now.
I think 3.
Like he's
Well, I think this might be his 3rd year, maybe.
right. So he's almost in his prime, right? Because I mean, Detroit didn't use him that much. I mean, he was hurt. I mean, he didn't get his body beaten up. So I mean, he's still got a couple more years that he could be a good running back. They always have a good 1 or 2 years, and this could be his year or next year. I feel like.
Yeah.
One thing that also impacted, like Swift leaving and Jamal Williams leaving, and them drafting Jahmyr Gibbs, who, by the way, my notes app changed his name to Jammer. So now for now on, he's now Jammer Gibbs to me. 'Cause
Oh, that's
it's
awesome.
a cool accidental nickname,
I like it.
Jammer Gibbs.
Oh,
But dude, he looks so good on tape. I can't wait to see what he does in the NFL. I'm pumped to see him play.
Yep, me too. I'm with you on that one. And he's going fairly high. He's going top 15 running backs anyway.
Probably where he'll finish, somewhere right around 12 to 15.
Yeah, that's pretty good. And the Lions got a really, really good offensive line.
And
Mention that.
Garoppolo, no one really talks about him, so he's not important.
Skip on that. But what
That's
about
just his personality. He's just not like what? Sorry.
Yeah, I guess it's not, Garoppolo doesn't matter, but what does it do to Devontae Adams? What does it do to Josh Jacobs?
I'm bullish on Josh
Anything.
Jacobs too, man.
You know,
But
I think Josh Jacobs, it doesn't do anything as far as his
Ooh.
output is concerned, and he's on a franchise tag year. Running backs who are franchise tag historically get worked. They
Oh,
get
really? I did not.
all
Oh,
the time because why not?
yeah,
I don't
there's no
care.
reason not to.
As a coach, I got you on my team for one more year. You're gonna run the ball a shit ton. You're gonna catch the ball a shit ton. I'm gonna use you. As far as what you're making from the team, that's not my problem. Like,
Mm.
and McDaniel showed that he loved him last year. So
Hmm.
I tried getting him from JR numerous times.
He ended up on my squad.
He's just eating noodles over there.
Yeah.
So I don't think it necessarily affects Devontae Adams. I think he's one of those guys that's got elite talent to where he's going to be great no matter who's throwing him the ball.
He's gonna be open. Doesn't matter.
Yeah. Yep.
Garoppolo likes that quick slant, so Adams does too. So that's what they're just going to throw is quick slants, and that's going to be awesome because he's going to get like 10, 15 slant catches.
He had 1,500 yards last year, over 1,500 yards. And correct me if I'm wrong, if anyone knows, I think he had 15 touchdowns.
I will correct you.
Yeah, I mean, I could look it up, but it
He had
sounds right.
14 touchdowns last year. That's a really good year for a wide receiver. And it's almost like if he does take a step back, say he goes for 1,350, 1,400 and still scores 13 or 14 times. How much of a, that's not that big of a step.
He scored 14 touchdowns with 1,516 yards, 100 yards catches with thrown targeted at 180. So he made 335.5 last year.
It's pretty good. I think that if he takes a small step back, you don't really blame it on Garoppolo, though. I agree with you guys that he's such a good talent that he's going to demand the ball and get the ball enough.
But who else do they have at wide receiver, Oakland? They have that Woodford, right? Winford.
Renfro, yeah.
Which is fine because he's a slot receiver, so that doesn't even hurt him.
And they lost Darren Waller. Darren Waller went to the Giants. So
Ooh, that's a big plus for the Giants, man.
it is. It'll help them a lot. They don't have any wide receivers.
They had Ingram, and I didn't think Ingram was that good.
He went to the Jags last year.
Oh, he left too. I'm sorry.
He was there last year. So
Yep.
speaking of tight ends, let's get into them. Let's talk about them.
Let's get into some tight ends.
I'm pretty sure this will be very easy across the board. Everyone's number one tight end, Travis Kelce.
Of course. Yep. This is an easy one. I don't know where Bob
They
went,
are.
but I'm sure he would agree.
I agree.
Agreed. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Bob's going to agree with that. I know that he does. He won him a Super Bowl last year. If there is, let's do this. Since one's so easy, who's two? DeMarc Andrews, is that another too easy one?
Mm-hmm. I think the top three wide receivers the top five are like legit, like Kittle, 4, I think, right? TJ Hawkinson's 3, I think.
I would put Hawkinson at 3 if I was listening.
Yeah, I don't think Kittle, fantasy-wise, I don't think he's as good. I don't think he's top 5.
I'm stealing this. I didn't come up with it, but Kittle is brittle.
Yep. I love it.
That risk is too high to be getting a tight end in the 6th, 7th round. And him, you just don't know what he's going to do. Like, if he's going to play. Like, you know what he's going to do if he plays, but.
Even if he does, I don't know. I think Andrews, Waller, Hawkinson, they're kind of in that next tier.
I do
agree.
too. Yeah, I do too.
And then it's kind of the maybe Kyle Pitts if he shows up, the Dallas Goddards, and then
Because
Kittle.
I don't know why Kyle Pitts is always up there, but like I think that everybody puts him up there because nobody wants to be wrong about it. They want to be like, see, I told you.
He's too young, too athletic, too fast, too good at football to not be good eventually on the field.
Yeah, I agree. I can't take him, I don't think. But
And I mean, who knows? Maybe Ritter's the answer here, having a whole year with him.
Well, Andrews was not very good last year, was he?
he was hurt actually in the games where he played. He was really good, but he was hurt for a few. I think he missed 4 or 5 games, something like that. But
I'm gonna call out that Cleveland.
really good. But I think he's a 2, and then I think it's 1, 2, and then everybody else, and then and then probably like Waller, Hawkinson. You could say I wouldn't even really say Kittle. I would say like Waller and Hawkinson, and then Pitts, Kittle. It's kind of or Kittle.
I would say that Cleveland tight end, if he isn't he
David Njoku.
Yeah, he's not bad. I think
He's an athlete.
So I think he's going to be he might be a sneak like
He's like
one.
His potential is, probably top 3, top 5 kind of guy, especially with Deshaun Watson, if he can actually show up and not look like a dog turd like he did last year.
You want to hear something crazy though about tight end?
So, what's that?
So, first game. This is how I feel like Kelsey's. This is why people should draft Kelsey first round. All right, so just tight end. Kelsey's averaging projected 18.8 points. And the next one is Andrews at 13.3. So you're making 5 points just for that. That is nuts that you can the top 1% of tight end is 5 points more than the second. That's pretty wild.
I agree with you. The only little wrench that gets thrown in is that we have 2 quarterbacks.
Right.
So it makes that first quarterback important only if you miss that run on them. If they go off and the first 5 to 6 are taken, you're kind of in a hole at that point in the quarterback spot.
Right.
And that's the only reason I like that 2 quarterbacks is it makes you think a little bit more about man, this is kind of important on what I pick right now.
To that point too, Bob, basically what you're doing is you're playing potentially 4 wide receivers if you have one in your flex versus someone else is playing 2 or 3.
Right.
Yep.
And then what do you think, Logan, about the Denver tight end? Remember, he was what was his name?
I like him. I've got him circled actually. It's Greg Dulcich. Got him circled. I like him as a middle round guy. I had Dallas Goedert listed down as a middle round guy, but I think he's a little bit higher up tiered, probably with those Kittles that we were talking about. If we're going with Goddard had a pretty good year. It was just, can he stay on the field? So yeah, I like Dulcich as a middle round guy, and then I also like Dalton Kincaid going to the Bills. I like him too. Rookie guy. We'll see. Josh Allen didn't really use Knox a whole lot other than down in the red zone.
Rookie tight ends don't work.
Well, then there you go. Don't circle his name.
Don, what is that? Is just because stats,
or just historically speaking, rookie tight ends just don't do well for fantasy.
Yeah.
I just think because
Dulcich is one of those guys. Probably didn't do super well for fantasy. Maybe first year, maybe he will.
I think the tight end would be the hardest. Play wise, because you got to run block, and then you got to pass block, and then you got to run routes. There's a lot of stuff you got to remember. So I feel like that's why it wouldn't work for the rookie tight ends, just because they got to learn all that stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah, my mid tier, just because I wasn't quite sure. I had Darren Waller there. We've already talked about him, just because I wasn't sure what we considered mid tier, because Kelsey is a tier, and then everyone else.
Yeah.
So.
Yep.
It is nice to have him on your team and not have to worry about tight ends. That is kind of nice.
Yep. I love that too. And
Shut the fuck up. I'm taking Kelsey at 5. It's over.
See, there we go. Now I know. I'm picking up 2 quarterbacks then.
So move along.
That's what I'm saying. That's what'll happen is you pick that tight end, and then somebody's just going to look at that and just kind of react off of that too.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
because there's going to be Joe Burrow and Jalen Hurts sitting there at 8 and 9.
Mhm.
How are you going to lay off of that?
Right. That's why I feel like
Like,
I'm
neither one of them will be there either whenever it comes back to you. Like,
kind of in the driver's seat, I feel like. But like Sean says, like whoever has Kelsey pretty much wins the championship. Like, I don't know if that's like a stat. We might need to look that up. But
I mean, I said it to Sean the other day. I was like, there's always, I can go through all my draft strategies, or I can just pick Travis Kelce and make it
Right.
easier. Like, I mean, my strategy last year was just pick Travis Kelce.
Mhm.
But then instead of doing that, I picked Jefferson, which I was fine with doing, just gambling on like maybe Bob won't take him.
Mhm.
And I took Andrews, and Andrews outscored Kelce in the first week, I'm pretty sure. Then he got hurt.
Yeah,
Like-
because I remember that was a huge crush. for
Yeah.
him.
Yeah, I was trying to pull it up. I don't think it lets me see who was on other people's teams.
Yeah, I couldn't find it either. I was trying to look that up.
So that would have been interesting. I know for sure he was on
You probably could, but it
a
probably
couple of mine.
would take
I
out.
do too. I know he was on at least 2 of them.
Yeah,
He wasn't on
Yep.
mine. I won.
he wasn't.
I did not have him.
Well, you're the outlier, man.
I'm just,
Just knows his tight ends. He put himself in at tight end.
Well, he was. Nice job, JR.
Great.
I looked at that a while ago. My grandma's DVR. It finally got deleted, I think.
Oh. That's
Probably on
awesome.
the internet somewhere.
Gotta be.
Let's go to running backs. So, Sean, who you got at number 1 running back?
This is one of those that was kind of tough, but I've got Austin Eckler there,
Me too.
and mainly because I think they're going to be balanced. They're going to run the ball. Last year, they did have games though where he just didn't get the ball much, and he still scored fantasy points because they used him like another wide receiver. Like,
his-
I would not be surprised if
Yeah.
Lines up and wide out a lot.
yeah, like he could have the points like rushing to be a top 10 running back and the points receiving to be a top 10 receiver. Like, he has that potential. But Justin Herbert's there. He's still young, but they're getting close with Keenan Allen getting up there in age as well. Like, they've got to make a run. They gotta do it, man. So if he's gonna have a monster year, it's this year.
They need to start finishing some games if they want to really win.
Yeah. And just a note, Austin Eckler loves fantasy football. So he takes all those points seriously. So
Yeah, he knows it.
I did not know that. Did he come out
Oh,
and
yeah.
say that?
yeah, he did.
That's wild.
He's been big on it his whole career. Like, he loves it.
He wants people to pick him too.
Yeah. Hey, Bob, who do you have at number 1 running back? You got a guy?
Yeah, I think Barkley. It's Barkley's year this year. I say it every year. I know, but yeah.
Franchise year, another. They're gonna
If
run.
not him, I would say that rookie from Atlanta is going to be really good. Like, they don't have anyone, right? So, I mean, who's their quarterback? I don't even know who their quarterback is.
Desmond Ritter.
Yeah, they got Des Ritter, and then the one thing that
So I think he's going to get a lot of touches. They don't really. I mean, they have that wide receiver that's kind of good.
Cordero Patterson. Yeah.
who's a running back now.
No, there's another guy that's kind of like
Drake London. Is good.
London. Yeah, London.
Yeah.
I think that everything. Whenever I watch Bijan play in college, and I think I texted you guys during the NFL draft after he got picked, and I said he's going to be on my fantasy team.
Yeah.
I didn't know he was going to go in the first and second round. Like, that's not at all what I thought. I don't like spending that high on rookies when I don't know what's going on.
Wait,
And he especially when coming off a year when Tyler Algier ran for 1,000 yards. Cordero Patterson's good. He was just hurt the majority of the year.
and he played wide receiver.
But he was a
They don't know what
receiver
he
playing running back.
like, yeah, he was a wide receiver playing running back, and he was like, I probably wanted
Well, why
Yeah,
not give him if he
doesn't play
produces?
football, pretty sure.
He produces there. It's going to be hard to take him away from the spot that he produces in. I think
Mhm.
that like Bijan would play more like an Austin Eckler thing. Like from the way that they're portraying it, the dude's playing like 3 positions. So that's why I would like him, I guess.
But yeah, he's projected the most in week 1. So he's projected 17.8 points.
Okay.
Pollard is next with 17.5. Eckler is next with 17.5.
This is for week 1.
Yeah.
Who they playing?
Carolina, so that's probably why. I mean,
Okay.
and then Pollard's playing the Giants. I don't know about their defense. I don't think the Giants.
That's some things that I don't always consider, but I need to. I think about it at one point and then forget about it. But like thinking about Bijan Robinson and that shitty fucking division that he plays in, he gets to play all those teams twice.
Mhm.
Like
Mm-hmm.
that
Yards.
probably helps. Saquon Barkley has to play the Cowboys twice. That sucks.
Right, because that's like a number 1 defense. Like,
Yeah. That's not. He has to play the Eagles twice. That's not fun.
right. Definitely, I feel like you definitely need to look at that if you're playing fantasy because I mean that's a big deal.
So you like Saquon. JR, who's your number 1 running back? Any of them to pick?
I would probably have to agree with Sean on Austin Eckler.
Yep, I do too. So I have him circled as my number 1. If it's a running back and I get my choice of him, I'm gonna take Eckler. I like
I bet-
Christian McCaffrey.
I bet
Doesn't
McCaffrey gets drafted before Eckler in our league, though.
think so.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm. Damon will take him.
Damon. I think Mario likes him a lot too.
I think that. Well, Sean, you're picking at 7, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So
I could tell you guys
Yeah.
who I'm drafting.
yeah, I think McCaffrey goes before that too because I think you take Eckler at 7.
Oh, I don't think he'll be available at 7.
You don't? I do.
No. I don't.
do.
If he's there, I'm for sure taking him.
Yeah, we're definitely gonna have to talk about that because I don't think he's gonna.
There's gonna be 3 quarterbacks. There's gonna be 3 quarterbacks taken in the first round,
No way.
at least.
No way. Yeah, because I'll.
Why not? Why is there not?
Well, it's
Like,
because I probably will because Devin will be the one. Devin will probably be the one. I don't think any of you guys are going to take a quarterback if it's there.
you don't think Damon will take a quarterback?
No,
No, Damon will take a running back.
and he's probably
I
going to
put
take
money on it.
Eckler or
Who doesn't like Christian McCaffrey?
he might take
Baloney.
Cooper Cup too. He might take
He's calling his bluff.
Yes, he likes Christian McCaffrey. He can say all he wants about his injuries, but he wears Jordans, so Damon likes him.
Nah, bub, I'm him at this camp I was at.
That's
Wow.
my cousin's friend.
Yeah.
cousin, sister,
He was at this
friend,
camp.
cousin.
No,
best
bub.
friend.
My cousin dated this black guy. He was a real good athlete, and he went to this football camp, and Christian McCaffrey was there, man. They're in the same dorm. He even said what's up to Christian one time, dude. For real.
Man, we'll see. I guess we'll see if Damon takes Eckler or McCaffrey then.
I think he'll take McCaffrey.
Take
But here's the thing: like, if McCaffrey and or Eckler haven't been taken, I mean that means that Jalen Hurts is gone. So
Yes, absolutely.
if Jalen Hurts is there, like that is who I'm taking. But the only way I'd have an option to take one of those 2 running backs is if that doesn't happen. If he doesn't slide.
What Logan says that the 3 quarterbacks in that mean you would get Eckler.
I mean, that's who I'm taking then.
I think 3 quarterbacks will be taken. I just do. I don't know.
I don't think Mahomes will go in the first round. I think Josh Allen and Jalen Hurts will get picked before Mahomes.
I'm not a big fan of Justin Hurts, so I don't give.
we can get to that whenever we get to our quarterbacks.
Yeah.
How about that?
No, and then,
Well-
all right, so after we leave quarterback situation, I think running back position is going to be very tough this year. Trying to find out like a good running back because there's a lot of teams now that do dual running backs, and now there's teams that are doing like 3 running backs like that. So like I think the running back situation, I don't know. This is just my opinion. I think the running back is going to be a scarce position.
I think it's going to be tough too. I think you're going to have to move around a bunch of dudes or have one guy gets a good
Yeah,
solid.
Right. Like, usually you do your quarterbacks. Like, you try to. I think everyone's should be picking up and adding running backs this year.
The top tiers of wide receiver are definitely deeper than the top tiers of running back this year.
Totally.
Yeah,
Yeah.
top 20 in wide receivers are dirty.
Mhm.
So about that, so we got Austin Eckler and Bob likes Saquon Barkley, a middle round guy. I'm seeing him going in the middle rounds anyway. I like Damian Pierce, and I also like Samaje Perine a little bit for he's actually a little later, but middle round guy. Like if you're looking for an RB2 or something, where you didn't want to spend up, or running back 3, I guess in an 8-man league would kind of be more where those guys are going to fall in. But
Mhm.
Yeah,
Who-
I think it's
But
just gonna be
Perine's not going to be the starter all year, right?
Perine?
Yeah.
No, probably not. No, that's why I would like him more for a 3. But Javonte Williams isn't. They don't know how he's going to do.
Yeah.
What about Najee?
Perine's going to catch the ball. I
Yeah.
like Najee.
What about
I know.
Najee Harris? They actually kind of like that quarterback. Their quarterback is halfway decent, right?
I mean, I
Yeah,
like
he's had a
Najee.
good year.
I got him.
Last 2 years maybe. Najee Harris has not been Najee Harris at all. Like
I think Najee's. I mean, I got him just outside of my top 10.
That's just because the Steelers suck.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he's in like the top 20, maybe top 15 right now.
I think, and it's kind of weird because I ended up both of them. I think they were actually they were part of a trade last year. But I think Jonathan Taylor and Najee Harris are like the same class. So I would consider them both like in our league being mid-tier.
How far back do you think Jonathan Taylor's gonna crash in our league?
I think they're both like at the back of the top 10. They're both still really good.
so
They're
That's
going to
right.
have opportunities. Yeah, I'd have them like 9 and 10.
Would you be afraid to draft Taylor?
If they don't sign anybody else, no. Steichen
Yeah.
basically already said like, "Oh, you said you're not hurt. Well, you need to report then." Like, come on.
Okay, so they're like forcing him to go.
Yep.
Yeah, because Najee.
We'll find out.
Najee Harris is still going to get his touches, so like he's
Yeah.
worth it, like picking him up, even though he's in the bottom half of the running back.
I don't remember what it was. Like Najee may come out and surprise. He's got the talent to be like a top 5 guy. But last year he played with like what was it, a broken toe or a broken rib for like most of the year. And he just like played with this injury and he still performed all right in the second half.
What about Joe Nix? You think Joe Nix is going to be good?
I think they're all right there together.
Right.
Yeah.
I think Joe Nix is. I mean, I think he's not going to do as good because he's getting old.
He was willing to take a pay cut to stay on the team. Like
He likes the team. Yeah, he likes the team then.
yeah. There's good chemistry there. Good quarterback. He can catch the ball. He's an Oklahoma boy just like Adrian Peterson was. So he's going to last forever.
Yeah, he's
I
tough.
like his style of play. He's that guy that can catch, and he's just a dog too when he needs to.
Yeah, I had now Jammer Gibbs is my mid-tier guys who I wrote down. I think he'll probably finish a little outside the top 10. I think he'll be top 15 though. Just because they're going to run the ball quite a bit. I mean, he's not Jamal Williams, but Jamal Williams just led the league with 16 rushing touchdowns.
Yeah.
Like we know what Swift can do throwing the ball, and now he's both of those players.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see. He's going to have opportunities. I think he's going to be there. I don't know. I mean, it's going to be fun to watch to see how it turns out, but I like him a lot, like middle rounds.
Another guy, deeper guy, I like Khalil Herbert.
Dude, I had him marked down. That's who I put down for my last running back.
Yeah, I like a deeper,
Yep.
deeper guy. You could get a lot out of him. Really?
Mhm. And I mean, it's a free pick too.
Exactly. That's
in
what
our league.
in our league you could get him in the 13th, 14th round, even in the last round, probably.
Starting
So-
running back
Yeah, it's gonna start for you.
for a team that's going to run the ball a lot because they only have to throw the ball 3 times to get 1,000 yards.
Yeah.
Who is this?
Khalil
Khalil.
Herbert, the running back for the Bears.
The
Yeah.
Bears. I don't know. Justin Fields. I'm telling you, I think Justin Fields got it this year. He's gonna be good.
I think he's a stud. Yeah.
Yep.
Absolutely.
He's real good.
JR, you got any running backs that you like a little deeper?
No, where do you think Justin Fields will get drafted at, Robbie?
I think he's gonna be in the second round, second or third. Sure. I'm playing a little game because, like I said, like I think I'm in a position that if there's not that many quarterbacks taken, and I take 2 quarterbacks back to back, then quarterbacks are going to go all day next.
They're gonna go on
Oh,
a run.
for sure. They'll all be gone.
Man,
Yep, and then I can pick up a running back and wide receiver top 5. So that's my game plan of going in. If there's not, then I'm going to double down on next 2 picks.
So
probably.
people don't draft quarterbacks. Bob's going to have
Dominic Robertson.
by far the best
the duo.
team. Yeah,
We'll get
the
there.
best
We'll get
duo.
to the run. We'll get to the quarterbacks.
Yeah, but my by the way, my running back that I would pick up that I think is going to be good is always that Walker the third, man. He gave me a lot of points last year. I mean, that's one of the reasons why I won is just because of him, and I think he's a lower bracket player. So I mean, he's probably in the top 15. So I think he's going to be in the actually top 5 running back this year in points. Anyways.
Yeah, that's a deep pick. I don't. They're
Gio's finally getting better too, so that's going to help him out.
yeah. All right. How about wide receivers, Bob? Who you got at number 1 wide out?
Man, dude, you could talk all day, but I mean, it's got to be Cup, I guess, just because Cup's been waiting like how many years of fantasy wide receivers last like 3 years, so it has to be him.
Junior.
I go Jefferson. JJ.
They got that rookie, so I'm afraid I'm a little timid.
Nah. They've had Adam Thielen, who's a good receiver, next to him. Jefferson came in and just said, "Nope, I'm that dude."
Yeah.
I've actually got Jefferson listed as the 1, and then I've got Jordan Addison circled as a later wide receiver guy too. So I know what you mean on that. He is going to be good, but Thielen and Jefferson were always good. Both of them were. So I'm not scared of that whatsoever. I think if anything, it opens up for both of them. Like, and they got rid of Dalvin Cook, like kind of that was already planned. But Madison isn't a pure runner at all. Like I could see them kind of like the Cowboys just throwing the shit out of the ball all year long, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'll say I have Jefferson as number 1, but my favorite receiver is Tyreek Hill. Share the same name, plays for the Dolphins, which are a ton of fun to watch. I mean,
Sick.
he's just the
He's just
cheetah.
super fast, dude. Like,
Yeah,
fast as
he is. Did you guys?
boy.
Did you see his indoor like track and field meet that race?
Yeah, I did.
Cheetah.
Dude, he just makes everyone else look like they're just learning how to walk for the first time.
Yeah.
And then, quick note too, I also have Jordan Addison written down as my late round guy.
That's we're all over. We're gonna have a Jordan Addison, Khalil Herbert race.
That's it. It sounds like the drafting is between you two about the rookies and all the sneakers.
We're gonna have to pick our dudes in round 10. Like I better draft. I'm gonna get him.
Yep. I will say mid tier guy that I really like, and man, he looked good. And we've already talked about our quarterback a little bit, but DJ Moore. He's good every year,
There you
even
go.
with really bad quarterbacks.
He's just a producer.
He
That's-
is, and now he's on an offense that wants to move fast. And I mean, look, preseason hype, 1 game, but dude, their connection looks so good.
Yeah, and that's another one going just like Khalil Herbert. All the kind of a free flip could end up being your number 1 guy.
Yep.
Because he is the number one guy on the team with a decent quarterback. They like to pump out plays. So
Yep.
Who you
Any
guys
other
think-
mid-tier guys?
Well, I
I
wanted
like
to.
Jacksonville. Oh, what's that wide receiver Jacksonville? That Kurt, whatever his name is,
Oh,
got paid.
Christian Kirk.
Kirk.
I'm
Yeah,
a little. I like Zay Jones too, and in Jacksonville. I'm just afraid of this Calvin Ridley edition on what
Ooh.
I think they're all going to be good. Somebody's going to have a good game every game. Who's going to have it? Who's going to get that good game?
Kind of like the Chase and
Trevor Lawrence.
What-
He's the guy who's going to have the good game every week.
Oh, Trevor Lawrence. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Trevor Lawrence.
Dude. Oh
But I
my
mean, like,
and Bob mentioned him earlier. Evan Ingram's there too at tight end.
Yep.
Like they're going to be so good on offense.
Yep.
If they're not, Trevor Lawrence is a
Two,
bust.
they have two good running backs who I didn't mention it, but Tank Dell. Come on.
So you're telling
He's going
us
to take his spot is what he's going to do.
is that a Super Bowl pick, Sean? What?
Oh heck no!
But they're gonna go pretty far, you think, though?
I mean, I think they'll make the playoffs. I think they're
10
by
and
far the
6,
best team in the
10 and
AFC South.
I think 10-6. Well, it'd be 10-7 now, but yeah, I think 10-7 sounds like a good Jacksonville.
You talking about the Jags?
Yeah,
Yep.
Yeah.
yeah, I could see that.
That's the thing. If you watched any camp film or like listened to their beat
The
writers,
Jags
at all,
are going to win our division this year.
Yeah,
I
that's
think
what
they
Sean
will.
said too. Yeah,
Yeah.
Team in the
But-
South.
yeah, the all the beat writers, everybody, all the film, they've all said like Calvin Ridley looks like he is like floating out there. Like he just looks so good, so crisp, and like just better than everyone else on the field. And so that's the only thing that scares me away from Christian Kirk and Zay Jones. I love Zay Jones.
Yep, me too, man. I'm right there with you on that, Calvin Ridley.
So we'll see what that turns into.
Another
Christian Kirk's
wide
way too
receivers we
overpaid
could
to not get at least a chance.
Mhm.
we ain't talking about that. He ruined it. I like Elijah Moore too as a guy for the Browns. I think he could be pretty good. He's a number 2 there. So
I just think there's so many wide receivers we could talk about. All
there are, man. You
I
can
mean,
name
there's
so many.
so many, like
You really can name so many. I mean, yeah, you just go down the list, and all of them have like top 10, all the way through the top 30, 40 guys.
oh yeah, I totally agree with you.
I was surprised that we didn't have a Scary Terry mention.
Right.
I
I was about to say,
IU
I was
fans.
about to say something.
I looked at his name and shook my head and just like I can't. I mean, how many names I can keep just saying
Yeah.
all? I can say Terry McLaurin, Chris Olave. Like, let's name this Smith and
Let's
Jigba
not talk about Chris Olave. Okay, let's let him drop a couple
from the
rounds.
Seahawks. The cat from the Seahawks is sick.
Chris Olave doesn't exist. Okay.
Oh, my gosh.
But he's not.
I hate
playing.
when guys from Ohio State come in the NFL and I end up rooting for them, you know?
Yeah, dude. Same.
They're the worst fan base.
Yep, they are the worst.
Yeah, well, I think everybody's going to have good wide receivers this year.
Yeah, I mean, this could be the year where a zero RB was a strategy a few years ago. Like you could have 0 wide receivers through the first 5 rounds and still have a great team.
Might be okay. Yeah, it might
Yeah.
be fun.
But you could also pick up 2 wide receivers first 4 rounds, and you're set and you're golden. And you don't have to worry about it anymore. Like
Sure, but like it doesn't. The next guy isn't going to miss you by that much. You know what I mean? Like if all of them are scoring 20,
He's going to beat you out at another position.
yeah. If all of
And
them
you're
are
going to
scoring,
beat him at that position by 3 points. You're still in the negative.
yeah.
yeah,
I think it's so deep. I think it's kind of a matter of who do you like, where are you
Like-
comfortable?
I think that it's so deep, and then like you guys said though, there's going to be a scarcity at running back, and if
Yes.
Bob goes quarterback, and there's a string, like there's a chance where we have like in our league like CeeDee Lamb and Amon-Ra St. Brown and Garrett Wilson, those guys going in like the 5th and 6th round.
Yeah, that's wild.
That's why I kind of like the
Devontae Adams may slip that far too.
Right? Yeah, Devontae Adams might go down there. Mhm.
That's just crazy to me.
just because how quarterbacks last year was much needed. Like everyone, I feel like struggled except for Devin.
It's just because he had Pat Mahomes and Josh Allen.
Right.
But when you need two of them, it just changes the whole thing. You have to think about the position more. Yeah. And we're there. We're going to talk about some quarterbacks now. So,
Jay, what are you eating now, bud? Ice cream?
John,
Dessert.
that you'd mentioned earlier, so I'm just going to assume. But hold on, what kind of ice cream are you eating, JR?
It's called birthday cake, but I have some chocolate covered peanuts that I sprinkled on top. So birthday cake with chocolate covered peanuts sprinkled on top.
Okay, pretty good.
That sounds really good.
You can't go wrong with birthday.
Can't go wrong
It's
with
okay. My kids like it. I wouldn't have picked it out.
Yeah, I love ice cream. I can eat just about any kind of ice
Oh yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's why I'm not bitching. They ain't bad ice cream to me.
cream. Yeah.
Nope.
So, Sean, you'd mentioned earlier that if Jalen Hurts is there at 7, that's who you're taking.
Mm-hmm.
Is it safe to assume that means that you've got him as your number one guy?
I do. I said that because I think that Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes potentially go before that happens, and then Jalen will be there. But I actually do have Jalen Hurts as number
You
one.
have,
Like,
yeah, that's
yeah.
right. Yep. Okay.
I think that he's going to score the most fantasy points of any fantasy player this year.
He averaged the most points a game last year for a quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
Period. I mean, by like a point, I think, over a point to Pat Mahomes. And he just didn't play 2 games. That's the only reason he wasn't the number one quarterback at the end of the year.
And
So-
I don't like he's just getting better.
Yeah.
And it's not like their running backs were bad, but I think Swift does change things for them. Like that's another option where it's like I can dump the ball over here.
He still has the best
negative
line in
yards
the
and
NFL
he can
too.
score
Let's not
a
forget
touchdown.
to mention that.
Say it again, Jay.
He still has the best line in the NFL too.
Yeah, I mean, he's going to score the quarterback sneaks that he's going to get.
Yep. A lot of those.
Yeah, I think that DeAndre Swift thing is a good thing to point out, though, that there'll be more dump options.
Oh, for sure. And that's what Swift likes. He likes to get an open and move around.
What about you guys?
I'm Josh Allen.
I got Pat Mahomes. Josh Allen. I got Pat Mahomes, and it is it's a risk factor for me with Jalen Hurts. To how much can he run the ball and get away with it? I don't know. And it doesn't mean that, I don't count last year's hits. He's healed. You know what I mean? It's just a risk that his risk seems higher than Pat Mahomes does. And Pat Mahomes can sit in the pocket and still score you 400 points a year. He doesn't have to score 10 touchdowns rushing and run the ball for 80 yards a game or whatever. You know what I mean? It's just a very simple step back, throw the ball, score points. Don't worry about it kind of thing. So that's why I would go with him. And Josh Allen, same thing. I think there's more risk with Josh Allen than Pat Mahomes.
No, I think Josh Allen has to come into this mindset this year that he's better than Patrick Mahomes and he needs to win the MVP. I want to see someone else win. So I feel like he's gonna come in I want to be Patrick Mahomes. I want to be the dude. And I think this year he's gonna show it.
Yeah. JR, what about you? Who you got?
I would probably have to say Patrick Mahomes, maybe Josh Allen, maybe, but just because I would be afraid of Jalen Hurts because, like what you said, last year was his blow-up year. Everyone's seen him now, and there's going to be a lot more. This year's going to be the year we'll find out if he's really good or if he just
It was a fluke.
came up and blew up, and then they figured him out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't think that's going to be the case with him, but I don't know. And it's hard to go against Patrick Mahomes.
Can't go wrong with either of them. I got all three of them in like a top. They're
Yeah.
They're the top three for sure.
I don't think you're going to go wrong with any of them, but
those three are all tier 1.
as long as they don't get hurt, you're not going to go wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think just because you said like they're like the top tier, I think the next tier is really good too. I mean, it's guys like Lamar Jackson, Joe Burrow, Justin Herbert, Justin Fields. That's such a good players there. So
Yeah,
if,
that's where you can
if
try.
JR does pick Kelsey in the first round, I mean, he can come around and get one of those quarterbacks.
Mhm.
So
Then what would you do, Robert, other than get second place? Maybe.
No, I'll probably get last place.
Middle round guys for quarterbacks. I pretty
Trevor
much
Lawrence.
do what?
Trevor Lawrence, that's my dude in
Trevor
the middle
Lawrence.
rounds.
Yeah. Trevor Lawrence would be an awesome quarterback too.
Hmm.
But I would honestly be fine with him being a quarterback 1, by the way.
If you're
I
stacked
really think
everywhere
this
else,
might be a blow-up
it
year
could
for
be.
him.
I do too, yeah.
Year 3,
Oh yeah, that's very important, Jay. It is.
Don said it. He's got the weapons now. Doug Peterson's given him everything. You know, that
yeah.
It's
I
his time to shine. If not, he needs to get off the horse.
if Trevor Lawrence is my QB 2, it's great. That's fucking phenomenal.
All right.
Fucking phenomenal. I'm even okay with waiting on quarterbacks and going Trevor Lawrence or something. Trevor Lawrence, Deshaun Watson back to back or something like that. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah, because Deshaun Watson has some
quarterbacks
perfect.
7-8 round or something. Like, but
I think you can get Dak back there too.
I do too. Yeah, I do too. I think Trevor Lawrence is better than Dak.
Oh, fantasy wise, I do too. Yeah.
Yeah. Obviously. Yep. I
Probably
mean,
on the field too.
yeah.
Really.
Gino, I'd probably
I'm
take
fine, Dax, but I'm not a big fan of
Gino. I'd take Gino over Dak, and I think the Cowboys are going to throw a lot. I said that, but I mean it's proven that Gino's going to score. So
I like Geno Smith, especially in those middle rounds.
that can kind of be a thing too. Like you think about it, like you get to that like Joe Burrow spot. Joe Burrow's. We're getting into our 8-man, maybe it's the end of the first, beginning of the second, or middle of the second. Like you could take Joe Burrow, or you could grab, a better wideout or a better running back and go get Trevor Lawrence later. Or you know what I mean?
All right.
Like
10th round.
All right. Well, I've got a question. You all have to answer it.
we'll get Geno Smith later and Dak, or Geno Smith and then that running back that you've paired instead of Joe Burrow and whatever worse running back that you're going to have. We already talked about how scarce that running back spot is.
Well, all right. You have to answer this. Would you rather have Joe Burrow in the second round or Dak in the 7th?
Dak in the 7th.
Back in the 7th.
Jay?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was saying right there. Yeah,
Yeah.
like what do you do? Like,
Yep.
and that goes
So,
into draft
There
strategy.
may not be a run of quarterbacks if everyone's thinking that
Right.
way.
Yeah. Yep.
There may be a way that I get Jalen Hurts, Austin Eckler, and Joe Burrow. Come on.
Oh yeah, for sure. And
Yep.
you could get Joe Burrow probably in the 5th, maybe 4th, 5th, 6th.
No, he'll have to
But
be
that
mine.
means that it also means that everybody else is getting that next quarterback right then too. You know what I mean? Like they're gonna
Mhm.
I think Robert kind of said it right. It's almost like he is in the driver's seat because he can set a tone with 2 picks.
If he goes quarterback, then I think there will be a string.
Yeah.
Like I'll start worrying about it for sure. if I don't get Jalen first.
Oh, I'd worry about it too.
But I mean, because Devin did it, and no one was worried about it last year, right? So Devin picked up quarterback, and like, no, we're fine. And then it killed everyone's quarterbacks. Like, no.
It turned out like that's how he would win games, just because he was getting
Mhm.
7 points out of those 2.
Like he should have won the championship. I think his team was the best. It just got hurt, I think, at the end, right? Maybe.
Yeah, he was getting banged up a lot.
That was the year before that too. He had a really good team
Yeah.
until someone knocked him out of the playoffs.
Huh.
Yeah, I think that there's a lot of different 8-man draft strategies can change all the time, and I think it's easy to change them on the fly. So I try not to put too much like stock on where I'm picking and what it is. It's just more or less, can I manage the runs that happen being at 2 where I'm at? Like I'm gonna have to fend off 10 picks basically. You know what I mean? However many it is, like or 14 picks, whatever. Like so I just have to pick and choose and grab those guys that I want to get. Have that strategy as far as goes. Like I'm going quarterback, wide receiver, running back, tight end, or anything.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
my draft strategy, I think this year, I don't know. As of right now, I'm trying to go back-to-back players. So like get quarterback, running back, wide receiver. Like that's what I'm trying to do.
Yeah.
But I think Jordan Love, sorry about quarterback, but I think Jordan Love is going to be a top 5 quarterback this year.
I've got him circled, Bob, for a late round.
Jordan Love, really?
Yeah, I think Jordan Love is the real deal.
I've got
I think he's the
Jordan
real
Love.
deal. I just don't think he's top 5.
No, I don't either. I could say top 15. I could see that.
Yep. Yeah.
But I circled him. And
I think he'll be battling for his job by the end of the year.
No way.
With who? Aaron Jones?
Yeah.
Speaking of running back committees, my gosh, the Packers are stacked there.
Yeah, they are. Yep. Yeah, you like that young guy from there, don't you?
Oh my gosh, dude. I'm telling you, if I like Aaron Jones a lot. I'm actually a hater on Dylan just because I hate every time he gets the ball, it means Aaron Jones doesn't have the ball.
Yeah.
And because I just really like Aaron Jones. But their rookie, dude, he is real good. I would not be surprised if somebody gets hurt and the Packers are winning games if they don't trade one of those running backs, AJ Dillon or Aaron Jones.
Is that good?
I mean, what?
Good.
Why? You don't want to do what the Browns did when they had Chubb, Hunt, and D'Ernest Johnson all at the same time. Like they could all produce and start on other teams, and now what'd they get out of it?
Yeah.
Nothing. They just got to keep Chubb. That's it.
And Watson guarantee.
Mm-hmm. But I'll say, like, my draft strategy, it kind of goes to that, like, where you're picking, you can't try to look ahead. Like, who am I going to pick next? Because our league, we go on runs of players. Like, it's so hard to predict of who's going to be there. Because whoever it is, it's always going to happen in, like, the 4th or 5th round. Someone's like, oh, who's going to take him? It's like, yeah, everyone was if he dropped.
We all were. Name circle.
Yep. But I think my draft strategy is actually a little different this year than somewhat before, where I just want to take the best player. Like, whoever's the best when I'm up, I think you got to take them, even if that turns into one of those, like, 0 RB or 0 wide receivers or 0 quarterback strategies.
You're just going to auto draft.
No, not like that. Like the best player.
He's auto drafting.
No, not.
He's getting kicked out.
No,
Blake got kicked
not
out.
auto.
Blake, all right, Blake.
No, not auto drafting.
Kicked out. Wow.
What I mean too is, like, you have to prioritize it. So for me, like, I may weigh wide receivers higher than running back. So if there's if the best player up there, if auto draft says, hey, you need to take Austin Eckler, but I'm like, dude, I really want Tyreek Hill on my team because I just bought his fucking jersey, which is a true statement. Like, I'm gonna do that. You know what I mean? Like, even though I think Austin Eckler's a better fantasy player than Tyreek Hill, like, I will take Tyreek because he's my favorite of the two. So that's what I mean by, like, the best. That's what you have to do. You have to know who's there and, you know, what's gonna make your team better. Like, it would be stupid to take a 4th wide receiver in a row who's gonna be sitting on your bench versus a running back or quarterback.
Absolutely.
So that's what I mean. Like, you got to fill out your team and make it good. But I think, and this was my strategy in the past, I wanted a team that I knew, like, had a pretty high floor, and I didn't really care about the ceiling. And I mean, it's proven the last couple of years, like, that's not a good take in an 8-man league.
No.
Like, you can't do that.
Doesn't
Like,
work.
a balanced team with a low ceiling just isn't going to win. You got to take some swings. You got to have those guys who can put up monster numbers.
I'm gonna have to get off here, you guys.
Right on. We're about done anyway.
Cool, dude.
We're just,
See you, Jack. Thanks for joining, man.
yeah.
All right,
Hey,
later.
by the way, check this out before you go to bed.
Fuck you. Sounds good.
Shining.
Hey,
It's getting gold. Look at it. Lights flashing on it.
that thing better be just as shiny as it was whenever I let you borrow it this year when you give it back to me.
Oh.
Okay.
Good
Okay.
Yep, I like that.
All
It's gonna
right.
be all sticky if it's from what I've heard about.
I saw. All right, I'm hanging up after this, but I saw this meme from the other day. It was this chick, and it said, "I was so horny, I microwaved the sticky sock under his bed and drank it."
Ew.
So gross.
That's a good one to leave on.
All right, bye.
That's awesome.
Gosh, that is so gross. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter how you think about it. It's gross.
That's good, though.
Yeah, I mean,
I knew it was something going to be something gross.
So,
one real quick thing too on drafts, just because we're fans of the Fantasy Footballers podcast, and they say it all the time too. Like, you don't win your league at the draft. Bob just freaking proved it again. All
Oh,
three
yeah.
of mine just proved it because I traded more than anybody. I picked up on the waiver wire more than anybody. Bob just did that. Everybody on his team at the end who mattered was picked up off the waivers or part of a trade.
Yeah, and I think the waivers is huge, right? Like, I think in the first five, you don't pick up anyone because you want
It is
first. And
It
so
is
I
part
thought
of like my thought. If
I
my team's not as good as I think,
last year, yeah.
yeah, if my team's not as good as I think it will be, like after the draft, like I may sit everybody week 1 so that I get a good waiver spot because somebody's gonna get hurt,
Mm-hmm. And I
and
think
that next man up is gonna be a difference maker.
right, and I wish we could really do the snake on every like the waiver. I really would want if I drafted 8, right? I get first waiver on week 1, and then week 2 I get
you
the
do.
last. And
You
vice-
do.
we don't do that. Nope, not
Yes,
in
you
this
do.
league. I thought on this league, I thought we do. If you pick someone up, you go automatically to the last place.
You will start as the number 1 waiver pick.
Right. If I pick up someone though, I would drop all the way to 8th on the second round. But if I
right.
don't, I would
Yeah,
still
because
be
you
first.
pick somebody else up. But since you're 8, you should have that first waiver priority.
Right. I mean, that's why I'm picking
In
8.
the
too.
draft, you have the very first one, and unless you pick somebody up, you have it.
Right. And that's why I pick 8 too, because of
Okay, gotcha.
But I thought, yeah, and I wish we went away from that, and I wish it was snake, snake.
I don't, because if somebody's team sucks and they're getting beat up by injuries, like let them pick up some players.
It's
Right.
not good. We've already we went through that a couple of years ago, and it did make sense because it was supposed to be changed. Drake was supposed to change it, and he didn't change it. But everybody, the waiver thing kept changing back to whoever's in last place. or
Last
whatever.
place, right? Yes.
Yeah.
And I know we changed that, so I mean, I like
Yeah,
it.
like that. I don't like if their team's struggling. That's fine. You keep picking up players, but like you don't. I don't think you should lose. I shouldn't lose my waiver order, like what
Right.
you were saying. You
True.
decided to pick 8. You should get the first waiver. I shouldn't lose that because you sucked week 1. Like that's not my
Yeah,
fault.
no, that makes sense. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, you get to
So that's
hold it. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, so
that's-
Bob should hold that position until he uses it. Yeah.
And
Until you
right.
use it. Until
And
you
that's
lose
what
it.
happened last year. That's why I used it until like when I was going on the losing streak, when I was like 0-4, 0-5, and then that's when I actually got on the waiver because I was first. And I think that's where I picked off Walker the third, maybe I think I picked someone up. I forget who it was.
It might have
And
been
then
Ramondre.
I think it was Walker, and then it was Ramondre.
Because I picked up a lot of people on the waiver last year, and I think that's what I.
Either way, it was those 2 though that were huge, that were within a few weeks. It was
And I think that's
they did it.
I think in any fantasy league, the first 3 weeks are very important. Like that's when you know who's going to be good, who's not going to be good, who you can drop. who you should save. I think the first three or 4 weeks is just you trying to figure out who's going to be actually really good, like running backs. That's the hugest thing to look at, right? In the first 4 weeks, because you're trying to figure out who's going to be the starting running back, because you could have a second running
So
back.
really quick too, since we went back to draft strategies there too, like knowing that those first few weeks are super important, do you consider drafting players like Alvin Kamara who are like guaranteed to sit the first few weeks? Because I don't like drafting them. At least historically, I haven't.
Yeah,
I don't like
look at
last
Damon.
year.
Yeah, look at Damon. I mean, Damon's always done that. He's did it with Watson, and then he did it with whatever his name, that wide receiver for the Saints.
Michael
Thomas.
And he did that, and he kept him, and that is the reason why he lost him, because he didn't want to drop him.
He dropped the Le'Veon Bell too, didn't he?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, in that year that he held up.
Because here's the thing, like,
Wow, that's kind of funny.
Oh yeah,
those can change things. So like if Deshaun Watson came back and played, after 4 weeks, and Michael Thomas was there after 4 weeks, his team would have been really freaking scary. I mean, didn't happen. It didn't happen that way. But like, yeah, I mean, I guess there's a strategy to it, but he's not winning the championship because, like Bob said, like those wins matter in an 8-man league. You got to rack them up.
Yeah, I agree.
So would you draft Alvin Kamara?
I don't
Or is
like
he
picking.
undraftable?
Yeah, so undraftable isn't the word, but if I'm sitting in round 10, 11, and I've got 3 running backs, he's going to be on my team.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that would be there is no risk at that point.
Right. Because I mean, all your bench players at that point, you can send off the waiver anyways.
I should be pretty comfortable with picking a backup or at least a third guy or a fourth guy. And that's whenever I start throwing in suspended players, is like round 10. Because a round 10 guy should still be used. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, because you're gonna have to pay
in our league for sure.
Yeah, when can
that's
I
where
use
most tight ends are gonna go.
Yeah. Kittle might fall to 10. Like when people start seeing that Andrews and Kelsey and Hawkinson aren't there.
Yeah, you're done.
Nobody wants to get that Kyle Pitts koozie.
No, because you're just gonna pick him up off the waiver, and you're just gonna waiver the tight end every week. You're just gonna waiver it. Like that's what I like. If I don't have Kelsey, my next strategy is I just don't get a tight end, and I just play the waiver on the tight end.
Yeah.
Because you already know
so,
one tight end go off at least once a year, if once a week. So I mean, you're only gonna get 8 points, but you're just gonna lose that. You're just taking an L on the tight end position, right? Really.
But only when you go against a guy who has Kelsey.
That's what I was going to say. Only with the guy with Kelsey.
Otherwise, everyone else is also getting 8 to 10 points.
Right.
So it's like a wash. That's why Kelsey is like a big difference maker.
Right.
All right. So I think I would be the same. In the past, I haven't. But if I had 3 running backs, my 2 starters and 1 guy that I could flex or just be on the bench for injury, whatever, I think that's when Alvin Kamara is in play for me.
Your fourth.
You mentioned
fourth running back.
Around like round 10,
that'd be great.
You're in like round 10. I've got my guys.
I got my guys. Yep.
After you got your starters, that's when you want to pick Kamara up, I feel like.
So because you mentioned him earlier, Logan, would you rather have Samaje Perine or Alvin Kamara if you have 3 running backs already on your team and they're both available in the 10th?
Yeah, I would rather have Kamara.
Yeah.
You got that guaranteed points, I feel like.
And I'd rather have Kamara, Perine, and you mentioned it too. Javonte Williams is there.
Mm-hmm.
What he's going to look like, we don't know. We don't know what this offense is going to look like in general.
Well, what about Dameon Pierce? Dameon Pierce and Kamara. They're both available 10th round.
I'm taking Dameon Pierce.
Yeah. I might take a risk. So I like
Dameon Pierce a ton. He fell off at the end of last year, but it's because he was the only good player on their team.
And didn't you have him on your team?
They got a quarterback now. Well, a rookie quarterback. We'll see. But I don't think that steep decline that he had at the end of the year, I don't think that's who he is. You know what I mean? I think he is a 15, 20 point a game guy.
Nice. Yeah, I don't know. It'll be interesting. The things that out of camp. I mean, you always hear stuff out of
Yeah,
camp and
because he
whatnot.
carried
You
your
gotta
team last year, Logan. I think, right?
Well, he carried you to last place, but
I mean, yeah. I mean, he was starting running back, and that's
shoulders weren't too heavy.
that's why. But he's the best player on your team.
But yeah,
But, like-
I think he's really good. They just defenses started collapsing the box on them. They couldn't throw the fucking ball. For
Yeah.
shit.
Who's their quarterback this year?
They got
CJ
CJ
Stroud.
So we'll
Yeah.
see. People are gonna have to respect it at 1st.
Mhm.
That
What
gets
they're
me.
saying in camp, not just like him as a player, but like him as a leader. They're saying like he steps up, like he's calling the plays, he's calling people out, like he's putting people in the right positions, he's making the right reads. Dude, that's what you want. Like as a running back, like put me in the right spot. You need somebody to block for you, put me over there.
Right.
Because that way, next time we have a play and I'm running a route, you're gonna look at me because I got
Yeah.
your back.
I got you.
Right.
I mean,
Sure.
yeah, Damian Pierce. I think you're right. I mean, he's got that potential for sure.
I like
I
him.
think that far down though. I mean, if Damian Pierce is still available, something's wrong. But
He's not. I was getting ready to tell you.
What about
like,
Cook?
there's no way he's gonna be there at 10. Like, I don't see Kamara. Maybe. It depends
No,
on
he's a bigger name. Everyone's going to draft him.
what list is everybody looking at. That's the other thing. Like, is the person's list updated? Like, that's the other thing with a live draft. But like Kamara, as far as we're concerned, we don't even know how long he's going to be suspended, right? Yeah, or is it 3 games? They announced 3 games.
I think it's 3 games.
So he's suspended for 3 games. I think Damian Pierce, even with that, I think Damian Pierce goes like 2 rounds before Kamara is even sniffed. Like,
Yeah, I mean, there should
Not good
be,
for us. Then Logan.
There
Not
should
good
be
for us.
at least
No.
7 rounds that go by before Kamara's like
even
considered.
thought about. It shouldn't even be thought about.
That's what should happen.
Yeah.
But we've got people like Damon who will grab
him up
him
in the-
a round or 2 early to
Mhm.
make sure he's got him.
And it might work, and it'll work. It'll
Yeah.
pan out.
I mean, with Jameson Winston as your quarterback too. I mean,
Not a fan.
Anybody making any trades pre-draft? Anybody
No.
considering any trades in the mix for trades?
No trash. No trade, Bob.
I
don't like
think that
trading.
my spot at 7, it's like the first time I'm like really happy. Like, I just have to wait for you guys to do whatever. And like, there's going to be somebody that either drops to me or
Mhm.
like worst case scenario for me is I draft Travis Kelce at 7. That's like worst case scenario, which is a great spot for me because I
it
would
wouldn't
love
even
that.
be 7.
I
It
just
would be
don't
9.
think he'll drop.
I think he's going to drop to 9. Actually.
Well, Bob's saying he wouldn't
I'm-
take him. Like, I wouldn't have to take him at 7. But I don't think he makes it that far in our league.
You don't think so? I think he will.
No. I mean, JR already said he's taking him. And if he doesn't, I mean, Logan's going to take him. Like, he's going to be gone.
Oh, so I'm going to go back quarterbacks. That's crazy, bro.
But real quick, too, just because, like we mentioned, the Saints, Derek Carr as a late round quarterback's a good pick.
Yeah.
And Kamara is going to score points there, too, once he's there. If you guys saw, they have the easiest schedule in the NFL, and it is by a lot. Like, nobody's had this easy of a schedule in a long time.
So the Falcons have an easy schedule too. I was going to mention that whenever.
That's
we
it,
talked.
because they're in their same division, and that's why, because they're
Mhm.
that division.
Yeah.
I did mention it with Bijan Robinson a little bit, but like
Yeah.
their schedule's weak. The Saints have to be a little bit of the same. They were a shitty team in a shitty division. Like
Yeah,
they're gonna get to play the
easy-
third team.
they're
from
projected 9.5 wins. The Saints are.
Yeah. I mean, that's a winning record.
Yeah, that's playoffs.
Yeah. Playoffs.
What?
Playoffs. Playoffs?
You talking about playoffs? Not a game. Not a game.
Nah, but this is the first. I really do. I think it's the first year I've like completely shut out the idea of a trade pre-draft.
Yeah. I haven't
Remember
completely
doing
shut
that?
out-
Though we used to do that. I remember
Yeah.
trading the first round for the 3 and 4 or
I
3
haven't
and 5.
completely shut off the idea, but
I mean,
it's-
I won our league one year where I got rid of my first round pick. Your
Yeah,
first
that's
round
why-
pick. If you're the first top 3 picks, there's so much risk there because your next guy is so much further away.
and you
Exactly,
want it,
yeah.
and you get your most points in the middle, like 3, 4, 5, 6. That's where you get your main people. Like your ones and twos, they're going to get hurt. One of the two. One of them are going to get hurt. If you're not, you know what I'm saying? Like it
First,
is.
second round. Yeah.
It is always at
Somebody's
least.
getting hurt. Yeah.
Yeah, someone's going to get hurt. So I mean, you got to look at it that way. And so
I haven't-
think what Sean did.
Giving up on trading at all, like draft picks. I think it's useful to do it. I just don't like. And I think the years where I got second and third, I traded my first round draft pick too, Sean. Like me and you were trading them kind of back and forth all the time and trying to get other people to do them. It seemed like the price of the first round pick went up a fuck ton. Like in the last 2 years, it was like, no, I want your first, your second, and your fourth,
Oh yeah, or
whatever. Like I want.
I
your
would
first,
trade mine.
You can have my fourth and my fifth, and it was like, no, I can't. It's too expensive now. I don't want to do it. It starts to get into like, I need to find how do I trade my seventh round pick, which is an early pick, as a 2.
Mm-hmm.
How do I trade that to leverage for a 10 where I get that running back, maybe that Kamara or somebody that I can get? Like, how do I leverage that 7th rounder, third wide receiver that I don't care about to get something later? I don't know. I just got to figure that out. Like, I think I need to toy with the middle rounds more so than the front rounds. You know what I mean? Like,
Mm-hmm.
when I feel like you get to
get my trades there. Like, hey, I'll trade you my 9th and my 10th pick for your pick right now in the 6th round.
Yeah, no one's gonna do that though.
Maybe not, but like I think Sean would consider something like that. 9th and 10th pick in an 8-man league is pretty fucking key.
I know, but like
I obviously want one guy. Sean would say, who do you want?
Yeah, but I don't think everyone.
I want him too, so no.
I don't think everyone else looks like it. Like they don't try. Like I don't think they pay attention as much as like what we do when we do fantasy. Like,
well, that's why I say I need.
Like
to
I feel like I'm a GM when I play fantasy.
I need to look at it more instead of like asking Drake, "Hey, do you want to deal your first round pick? Do you want to deal your 6th round pick?"
I see. I don't think trading picks is a good
like
idea.
I'm looking at the 6th, 7th round guy instead of the first. Like,
yeah, I just think it just ruins.
Is so high, I guess, and I don't think anyone will think a 6th round pick costs as much, so they'll give it to me for 2 picks, 3 rounds behind it. You know what I mean?
I just don't think trading picks is very good for as a whole. As a one team, yes, but as a league, no. I don't think it's a good idea because the other 5 people think your team's gonna be a little bit better because of that. Like he's an idiot. He should not trade you that and stuff like that. So like I feel like drafting wise is not a good idea because then the other people are going to be pissed off because you traded him, and then that team's going to be good because of that trade.
I don't care what anyone else thinks.
Yeah.
I don't. When I'm making trades, I care about the other team. I think that there's a couple things like you have to help the other team out. If you don't, there's no reason for them to accept the trade.
Yeah.
Like once you're in the league, right? Like I know that we're talking pre-draft, but like once you're in it, like if they need a QB, give them a QB to get what you want. Like if you got a guy on your bench and you need a running back, like make that trade. It's okay to make their team better if yours is getting better too. Like I don't care that Damon's going to be yip yapping that I just gave Robert another championship. He needed a quarterback, and now he's got that quarterback.
Is Damon the problem? Is this where we're going? Is Damon the problem?
No, but
I know that I always have to at least once a year say, Damon, no trade hating.
Right.
Like speaking of Damon though, like you have to understand your league. Like some players are just higher valued because of XYZ. Like as an example, Damon loves big names over fantasy production.
That's his thing.
Last year he would rather keep Calvin Ridley on his bench for 8 weeks instead of getting a Brandon Cooks that could have been in his flex and winning him a game.
True.
Like that's okay. Because he was taking a risk, and that's just who you just have to understand that. Like I know that Logan values people like Dameon Pierce that most people don't know unless you're into fantasy football.
Yeah. Yep.
Like you have to know that. But I do think that not only making the trades fair, this is going to sound so weird. Like, I promise I don't try to take advantage of people, but like, not only is a trade fair, the other team has to think the trade is fair. Like,
Absolutely.
you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, they
I
have to
know
think
exactly
it too,
what you
not
mean.
just me. Not
Right,
like, oh,
like-
I'm trading 15 fantasy points per week for their, 15 fantasy points per week. That's fair to me. Like, no, if they value that person because their name, because Zach fucking Wilson helped Bob win a championship. Aaron Rodgers
Picked
gets
him
hurt.
up on
and I
the
really
waiver
want,
'cause
I
picked
want
him
Zach
up.
Wilson, right?
Yeah.
Like, he's not going to trade him because it has a value to him. Like, it's
Right.
like Mario having Joe Mixon. Like,
Yep.
he's not giving him up because he's on his team every
He
year.
won't do it. Yeah, he ain't gonna give him up.
Yeah, and that's why. It's because he's on his team every year. That's part of his team. Like, we don't even have to. He doesn't even have to draft in the third round. Like, we know he's getting Joe Mixon.
Right. We know Mario's gonna have Joe Nixon on his team. Like,
Yeah,
you're not
like,
gonna
it's just gonna happen. Yeah,
Yep.
it's just gonna happen. Like, if Todd Gurley was still in the league, he'd still be on my team. Like, I just love drafting Todd Gurley.
Well, I can draft him not a couple years ago, I think. When he played for Denver,
Yeah.
right?
No, he was in LA.
I know, but didn't he move to Denver?
No, he didn't.
Oh, is that Melvin Gordon, maybe?
Yeah, that was Melvin Gordon. Yeah.
Melvin Gordon, yeah. I drafted him. He got hurt. That's my milieu. I draft running backs. They get hurt.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So whoever you draft, I will not play them week one in the DraftKings Millionaire Maker. But all right. So speaking of that, just real quick too, like trades and all that. Like you said, a 9 and a 10 for a 6. I think that would be like trading someone like a DJ Moore for trading for like, I don't know, Brandon Cooks or George Pickens.
Or Terry?
Yeah, I mean, I think Scary Terry goes before 9 or 10, but somewhere
he
right
doesn't.
in between there. But
No,
yeah,
he doesn't.
Hold on,
Terry
Brandon Cooks
does
or
not-
who?
Terry drops to 10.
Terry.
George Pickens is who I said. George Pickens, Brandon Cooks, they're going to be around 9 and 10.
Do you really
George
think
Pickens
Brandon
might
Cooks is
not.
that good? You think
Yeah, I mean-
he's going to be that good?
We'll see. I mean, he's on a team who's going to throw the ball a lot, and it's not like
Yeah.
Michael Gallup
Brandon
is going to get.
My sheet is he's a 10 to 11 round draft pick. Obviously not 8-man, but for a 6 rounder would be Drake London.
Yeah, see, I think I
Or
don't think
Christian
Drake London's that good, and he's pretty high up there.
So you're
But
trading.
You just got 2 9 and 10s. That's not that fucking bad.
No,
Like
I would
that's-
give up Drake London for.
but like I'm saying, Logan,
for a
I
9 and a 10.
yeah, I would.
Yeah, I would do
I
that,
think
actually.
everyone would do
That's
that.
what I'm saying. That's
But
those
I
are
wouldn't
things
want to do
that
it until I saw who
evaluating.
dropped.
Do what?
Because if DJ Moore drops and he's in the 6th round, I don't want to trade that. But if it's
I'll
Drake
trade you
London,
my
my
6
best
for an
option.
8.
Yeah. Let's trade.
I'll
Middle
trade
of the
you
draft, let's
Sean,
trade.
Sean, can I have your 6 and 8 now too? I'll give you your 6, and can I have your 8 and 9 or 9 and 10? Because I feel like that's why we don't trade in drafts anymore, because everyone knows that's a good trade. Like I would do that. So then everyone would just try to trade their 6, and then if someone approves it, that other person's gonna be jealous as fuck me,
See,
because I would do a 6.
That doesn't. I think that kind of ties into what Sean was saying, though, is that like I'm not gonna offer you a trade if it doesn't help you a little bit. Like you're getting help.
Oh yeah,
I want help because I want this dude. I want my guy.
like right now, if
2 guys later, I want my guy right now.
if
That's
it's in the 6th round and like I didn't get him and like I'm hoping DJ Moore's there, but then a string of wide receivers go, I want to be able to hit up Logan and be like, dude, I like really want this dude on my team. Like whatever you want, dude, I'll trade you like my 7 and 8.
That's what I'm saying. Like, stuff,
Like
you want to get.
on my 6.
what
you
is somebody
know,
going to be thinking
maybe-
in the 6th and 7th round, and what are they going to give up for something at that point?
So do we need?
I'll give up for the,
like-
but it has to be the right player. Like if that
Oh.
person doesn't drop, yeah, that's why I don't think I could do it pre-draft.
Yeah, but if we did that, our draft would take 3 hours to draft. Then
No, it wouldn't, because
Nah.
you still only have 2 minutes to put your fucking pick in. Like Sean would have
And it
just, and then then he needs to look at it and start texting me about the next one. I want your next pick.
And we have to like, hey, I'm on behalf of Logan, I'm drafting,
Yeah. Sean
AJ
told me
Brown.
to draft this guy. I'm drafting him, and I'm trading him to Sean after this for this 9 and 10 pick that Sean takes. Whatever, however you do it. But like, that's how I don't really like the pre-draft trades, I guess, more than I would do more than I would like the live draft.
Yeah.
Or just
let's do
being
more
able to
live
evaluate
draft trades. Yeah.
and have the forefront.
That'd be
of-
pretty wild, you guys. That'd get wild.
and have the forefront of this.
Let's do it.
The 7th round is going to be where these guys go on a run. I want 2 picks in the 7th round, and I'll give up my 11th and
I
the 12th
personally,
and
I would
whatever. Like,
right.
I just
I'd
want
give you my
I need
9
to
and
take
10
a
just
bigger
so I
pick.
could get another 6 wide receiver because like that 6th round pick that you'd give me, I would get a wide receiver, like or a running back. I mean, so I would trade.
Yeah, but if
Yeah,
you
because
don't
you're
have a
probably
quarterback-
going.
but
I
say
would
you-
trade. You're trading like 2 bums on your bench, right? I mean,
Let's
because
say you don't have a quarterback.
At 6,
Let's say
no,
you
you're
don't have-
drafting a starter.
No, I meant 9 and 10 though is your bench.
9
So
and
you
10,
trade
your
2
bench, yeah.
players for a guy that could start on your 7-man league or what? How many? 10 positions we have or whatever.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
basically you're fighting depth versus not depth. That's it.
Right.
And I mean, that kind of goes back
Yeah,
to the
that,
draft strategy,
you
too,
put it
like,
to the T, Logan. Like you hammered it,
Yeah.
hammered the nail. That is what it is.
there could be guys that go later that end up being starters too. So and it's part of that chance. Like, would I trade
Alvin Kamara.
the potential
Or
the
rookie,
potential
any
of
rookie running back.
Drake London for Alvin Kamara? Yeah, I'll take
Yeah.
that trade all day.
I'll do that.
So if
I'll
he's
do
if
that.
he's on your bench, yeah, I'll take that bench player.
Yeah. All right. So you just think about trading Brian Smith, right, the running back, and then Taylor, Terry. So you're trading them two people because they're going to be on your bench. You never play them until they actually were good. So they're probably 9 and 10 pick, right? That Brian Robinson guy, the running back, and their wide receiver.
Bajan. Yeah.
Yeah, for like a Watson, for a Deshaun Watson, because you could probably pick Deshaun Watson up at
Brian, and you're saying Brian Robinson from Washington, right?
right, the running back and the wide receiver, like them two. So them are going to be your bench players on 9 and 10, and then you would trade them for like a quarterback maybe.
I thought you meant I thought you meant Atlanta guy.
And that's what I was going to say to you, Bob, is say just somehow you don't end up, and not just you, it could be anybody, but it's to the 6th round, and it's an 8-man league, 2 quarterbacks. You ain't got a quarterback yet.
Right.
Fuck.
I would
You're
rather
rolling
trade
with
two of my
Kirk
bench
Cousins
players.
and Derek Carr.
2 guys that I thought about taking. This Robert just took him as his 2nd quarterback, which I don't know why the fuck he did that, but I'm fucked and I don't need this wide receiver. I need to trade a couple of things. I need a quarterback now, like right fucking now before he goes on this huge run.
Right, and you know that run after the 6 and 7, no quarterback's going to be taken because the runs are going to be gone. So I mean, you're trading 2 bench
We
players.
should have done a live mock draft too.
Oh,
I wanted to do that, but I thought I didn't want anybody to
No,
fucking steal ideas from other people.
Yeah.
I know that's why I try to get everyone involved.
The other thing was I know nobody would do it.
I know
it would
that's
end
why I
up being-
put it.
It would end up being us 3 and JR probably.
Well, that's why I was trying to get everyone else on board today. So I wanted to know what their draft strategy was, so they would know, we would know everyone. So now us 3, if they watch this video, they know our kind of our strategy. So that's why I was trying to get everyone involved. So everyone knows everyone's strategy, and everyone be like, "Oh, well, I'm
I mean,
gonna do
everyone
this."
can know I want Jalen Hurts and Tyreek Hill on my team. Like those.
Yeah,
those-
it
that's
doesn't-
who I want to be on the team.
I'm fine with telling people my strategy.
That's I am too.
It
So
doesn't really bother me at all. I think it's more fun to talk about it and
Mhm.
and
because
just-
whenever the draft comes, you try to prepare for it. Once the draft comes, your mindset is gone. You don't know.
take a lot up and throw it
Right, you're not trying. You're in the moment trying to.
Man, I said I wasn't gonna reach for that guy.
That's what I love about. I love that about our 8-man league. I'm
Mhm.
only in 1, and I love it about that is that we could have sat here and talked draft strategies all fucking night.
Mhm.
It don't matter because if Devin goes Pat Mahomes. I go Josh Allen. Damon goes, I think Damon's 3 or Mario's 3, whoever. And then they go Joe Burrow, Jalen Hurts. Everything's changed. It doesn't matter.
Yeah,
Nothing
because
matters.
if the first if the
Justin
first-
Jefferson falls to 7, you guys are fucked.
That's what I'm saying. Like, if Justin Jefferson comes to Sean, is Sean really going to be like, well, a big run of quarterbacks just went, so I'm gonna pass on fucking Geno Smith. Like,
Geno Smith gets
Would
drafted.
you rather have Justin Jefferson or Geno Smith?
not
The
gonna
first round is all quarterbacks.
like,
Yes, I would trade Justin Jefferson for Geno Smith. Yes.
he did.
Yeah,
But yeah, I mean, who's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6? So
Have you
7. If it went all quarterbacks like Justin Fields, Deshaun Watson area is what would be near me.
I have it down to Trevor Lawrence. I got Geno Smith at my 9. So
Mm,
yeah. I think I'm gonna play how I played last year, and just if Kelsey comes to me, I'm gonna take Kelsey for sure. But I don't think Kelsey's coming just because Kelsey and his name. So like, I'm gonna be struggling. I feel like
it's not just his
Quarterbacks
name, man.
and
It
tight
really
ends.
is like you get an extra player every week.
Oh
when you have
yeah,
Kelsey.
like
That's like
if I had the number 1 pick, I would probably pick Kelsey just because an 8-man league tight end is huge. So I'm
It's a
glad
positional advantage,
Kelsey
yeah.
retires.
Devin came over the other day, and I said, "So you're gonna pick Travis Kelce?" And he said, "No." I said, "Well, then I am." Like, we kept talking about it, and then by the end of the night, he was thinking about taking him. So I don't know. if he will or
That's
not.
what happens every time with Kelsey. Everyone thinks about it, and then it drops to 8. I'm like, thank you.
Yeah. So I don't know if he
Yeah.
will or not, but if he doesn't, I'm going to.
Yeah,
the worst case scenario for me would be like if Jalen Hurts, Austin Eckler, and Travis Kelce all dropped to 7. That would be worst case scenario. Like, I would hate that because I wouldn't know who to pick.
right.
Yeah. Yeah, and you're gonna miss one of them.
You're
Yeah,
like you're
like-
gonna flip. Or like who's? Oh, look at him! Look at little Stu here.
He's gonna take Travis Kelsey.
Yep. That's. I think that's what he
Listen to us,
said.
King Buck.
Do you guys have any bald
Uh,
quarterbacks?
Got the opposite of that, man. I think most of the quarterbacks in the league right now have got like great heads of hair.
They got my hair, buddy. You'll get there.
Well, I'm about to say you're not little Stu anymore, bud.
Nope. I'm beating Stu now.
He's a little Stu. Little Stu, I guess. Little Stu Jr. How about that?
We didn't talk. Would you be mad if it fell that way and you didn't get a quarterback early? Would you be mad if you ended up with Anthony Richardson as your QB1?
No, I've been doing draft picks like that. Not gonna lie, I've been doing crap tons, like probably 4 or 5 a day. I've been just
Yeah.
drafting, and so I've got a couple of them saved on my phone, like A+, A-, and all that stuff. And yeah, Richardson's been. I've been trying to do like no quarterbacks, right, and pick them up in like the 7th, 8th round, and you can pick up Richardson there too, and Love. So I'm like, them two are my quarterbacks.
With them.
I'd rather I could play with Jordan Love and Richardson, and I could get them at like 11, 12. So I could worry about.
I would. If I left the draft and my quarterbacks were Jordan Love and Anthony Richardson, I would feel like I failed in a 2-quarterback,
Really?
8-man
You
league.
think so? See,
Yeah.
But I would too, but then I get it.
The
I
rest
get
of your team would be good. Like, it could happen.
Right.
You just like mentally, I'm like, fuck.
and you're fucking with your depth, or not your depth. You're super deep, but who you starting? Just like you
Right.
got earlier, Bob. Like,
that's why I
who's
actually
gonna play for you? Like, who's gonna be the guy for you? You got a lot of depth, but
that's what Damon struggles on all
you got
every.
DJ Moore as your 4th wide receiver. What the fuck are you gonna do?
And that's what Damon runs into because he always picks some big names people. So like
Yeah.
his bench, he's like, dude, your bench is good, and so he has a tough time to figure out who's gonna hit that. I mean,
Yeah.
that's what he struggles on the most. Is I feel like his team's good, but he never plays the bench players that should play because his bench goes off, right? And
Yeah.
then his starters don't.
Yep.
So, Yeah, but I think the drafting out of I think it's cool, but I would.
It doesn't seem like anybody's doing it anyway. So I am open to live drafting. If anybody
Live.
wants to hit me up while we're in a draft, I'm totally open to it. I don't think there's any rules against it.
Are we going live with the draft?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, we are.
It's live. That's why there are no rules against it. It's a.
Oh, Bob, did you mean like on video?
Yeah, I'm on this thing.
Oh, we could, but actually no, we couldn't because we need 8. We're gonna need 7. No, we won't. We'll only need 6 because you and Devin will be with you. So we could do it on here. We could.
I think that'd be kind of cool just to. If
And
no
then
one watches it, just
I can update like what round we're in.
right, and we just
Everything.
watch this 10 years from now and just
Mhm.
reminisced of what we talked about in our fantasy league this year.
Can you believe that Robert passed on Saquon Barkley after he said he thought he was going to finish number 1?
Said he was taking Justin Fields and Travis Kelce, and he didn't.
Doggies, that's enough. So
All right, real quick question. Who would you rather have, Nick Chubb or Derrick Henry?
Derrick Henry.
Chubb.
Yeah, I'm Chubb too.
See, I'm not a big fan
got
of
a little
Chubb.
Chubb.
I've never liked Chubb.
I think he's the
Why?
best
Because he
running
scored
back in the
17 points a
NFL.
game?
No, I just because I've had him on in my team when he had Hunt and it just didn't do well. No.
Yeah, I think he's the best running back in the league. I really do.
I think he's dope, and he doesn't have Hunt anymore. So
I know that's why I feel like I should put his stock pretty high.
Like,
I
I don't. They're
I
not going
got-
to throw the ball to him enough to be like the number 1
Right.
fantasy option, but I think like
Yes,
pure
they are,
runner,
yeah.
it's him and Saquon. I think up there at the top. Fucking Derrick Henry has to be in contention for that too.
my PPR goes Eckler, McCaffrey, Saquon, and then him. So yeah, and then Nick Chubb.
So Henry then Chubb.
No,
So he-
no. Eckler, McCaffrey. I'm sorry, I meant Chubb and then Henry. That's
Oh,
I
okay,
think they were talking about Henry, not Chubb, but
I got you.
Chubb
Okay,
then Henry. Yeah,
gotcha.
that's how I got mine listed. And
So you got Josh Jacobs down further. Than
no, hold on. No, I got it right. Sorry. Eckler, McCaffrey, Saquon, Chubb. That's what I have.
And then Henry.
That's the only reason that
and
Chubb's-
Jacobs?
I've got
Chubb is-
Bajan. I got Bajan and then Henry is how I listed them.
Right.
So I get all my stuff off fantasy footballers, and then I change my shit around and do my own.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
change them.
Right. I think Henry and
how I
Chubb's
got
probably on the same level, just because like they don't catch balls. Only reason they would be good because they're going to average 100 yards a game, right? Like that's what they do. It's
Yeah.
the touchdowns. How are they going to get
Last year, that's what sucked is Kareem Hunt only got in the freaking game to score touchdowns.
touchdowns? And so
Yeah.
I think that you guys might be right on Nick Chubb being the number 1 running back this year. Just
No, I don't think he'll be the number 1 fantasy back though. Top 3,
No.
I think, is his
best
height, like
running-
his ceiling,
best running back in
Mhm.
like the best pure runner. I think he is.
position, running back. Yeah.
So he's going to get the most yards, is what you're.
Yeah, I think so on the ground.
Eckler,
Yeah,
McCaffrey, Saquon, Chubb.
Yeah.
Bijan, Henry, Josh Jacobs, Tony Pollard. And then I got Ramondre, Joe Mixon, Najee Harris, Jonathan Taylor.
See, I think Jonathan Taylor's way down there because of the.
I could be so wrong on that too. Like that could bite me in the ass.
Right, if he's gonna play, he's gonna be good. But you never. What are you gonna take the risk? Like, are you gonna get up a number 1, a round 1 or 2 for him? Like,
Yeah.
I would pick him up in round 3, maybe. But I
I'm
don't
not.
touch him in round 1 or 2.
This
Yeah, I
comes
would-
down to knowing your league.
I got Najee and Joe Mixon right next to him. I think I'd rather have them. Like
Just because it's a safer bet. because Jonathan Taylor sucked last year. Like he was
Yeah,
almost number 1 pick, right? Maybe like
he
I
was.
was
running
number one
back.
pick, yeah.
yeah, and he did absolutely nothing. And now he's fighting about money and stuff. That's not good on his mindset.
He had like end of the year, but that was it. That was it. But like that's like knowing the league, like knowing I drafted him first overall last year and he was a complete dud, and I ended up trading him for Najee. like if you're that guy, you're like, okay, I think I want, JT, he's coming up and I'm coming. Like, you don't even have to trade. I'm not drafting him.
Yeah.
And also in trades, it doesn't matter what you send me with him. I'm
Mhm.
instantly going to devalue him because he fucked my team over.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like Mario with Joe Mixon. He's
don't
not
want-
getting rid of- You're not trading me Justin Taylor or Jonathan Taylor.
You're not. I'm not taking him.
I'm not taking
Like,
it. It's not on my
it would have to be really lopsided for that to happen.
Yeah. No, that's funny because it goes into like Devin last year. He was like, Sean keeps offering me Jonathan Taylor. Will you tell him I'm not fucking taking him? Like, I was like, I think he knows, but
I knew that.
Like,
I'm like, I'm pretty sure I offered Jonathan Taylor to everyone in the league every week. So it wasn't just a squid thing. Speaking of, I watched that episode, the first episode of Rocket Power with my kids, so they got to learn what a squid was.
Yes, that's you, Sean, to a T. You look just like each other.
Yep.
Shuby, you're a Shuby.
I am. I'm a shoey for sure. We watched that episode too.
What was that guy's name? The kid that one, the blonde headed dude that had shoes.
Yeah, Sam. Squid.
Yeah. I knew it, Squid, but I didn't know his first name.
Samuel.
Did you know that he had an N on his shirt because originally he was going to be the new kid from New York? That's why there was an N. They ended up making him from it was either Wisconsin or
They made it up, didn't they? Like,
yeah, I don't
Like,
remember.
Wisconsin, that's like the widest place possible that you
Ocean Shores was made up too. I'm pretty
cheating
sure.
to go to. Doesn't even know the beach or anything.
Yep. Oh,
All right,
man,
dude.
that's
Well,
a good show.
I think that was. I don't know. Wrap it up.
That was 2 hours long.
2 hours, 151 is what we're sitting.
Yeah, I saw that.
And I thought to myself, we could do it in 45 minutes, but
We started jibber jabbering, dude. Talking football.
I got an excuse to not be that for a minute. So,
Drinking a couple beers does that.
Yep.
all right, dudes.
Yep.
See you guys
Well,
later. Next week, we'll try to do a live draft, maybe Thursday. I mean, it is Thursday. Try to do it live. We can. I should have Devin and Robert over here, so we should only need 6 streams. Stream it to YouTube. We'll go from there.
Yeah, I might have to have a towel because it's so hot in Arizona.
We'll be inside. We'll be inside. This way.
all
Later,
right,
dudes.
see y'all.